Hey folks, welcome to Practically Programming. Today we're going to take a look at trying to write some tests in Go. My background is in operations and I've been learning coding kind of on the go on my own for several years. So I don't have a real strong grasp on testing. I've written some tests for stuff at work, but usually that builds on somebody else's already written tests, so I'm just kind of adding on to what they've done. But I'm going to try to get an idea of how to add a test to this command line tool that I'm building. I think it's going to help with some of the troubleshooting that we've been working on previous episodes. If I had a better idea of what was actually being put in and returned from these functions, I think I'd have a better understanding of why some of the calls to the remote APIs aren't working the way that I expected them to. So there's no time like the present to dive in and learn something, and doesn't matter how long you've been doing something, or if you feel like you don't know it or you can't do it, you can definitely learn it, no matter where you are in your career. So we're going to try to dive in and take a look at some testing. I cribbed this this makefile test target. It should also say test. I want to run go test with some build flags arguments, and then and any packages that we find inside of the project. At the moment, you'll see if I run go test, make test, it looks into the Go-Git-Release and the Go-Git-Release command directories, and there's no tests. I haven't written anything, so we're gonna get started. Let's find a piece that we want to test. I think we're going to look into the releases where we were testing earlier, and we're failing trying to create a release, pushing the request to GitHub. GitHub returns with a 422 unprocessable entity, which means I'm giving it bad data. And I'm not sure why, so I think the test is going to help. Let's see, so we put in this make HTTP request, this is what actually does the call, and this is a straight up call to the GitHub API. And what I am failing to do, I believe, is to build this request that I'm putting into the HTTP request function. I don't think I'm building what GitHub is expecting of me. So we're going to look at what's generating this and try to write a test for it. So let's go back, I believe, down here. Yeah. So this is this correct? Yeah, so up here, this is where we're building in, we're making the call to make HTTP request here within create release. And the request is, we're kind of building up some information here. We want to have parameters, the URL parameters. So params, tag name, the name of the release that we want to create, body if it's a draft or a pre-release. And we want some headers for authorization. And then we pass all of that, past this debug here. This is all debug that we were looking at last time, to make HTTP request. So what we want to do is validate. I guess we want to, we will probably want to make this into a function, the thing that builds this. And yeah, we want to make that into a function and then test that function, because create release is really, at the moment, it's building that request and then sending that request and then dealing with the results. And we need to test building the request and validate that that's working. So we're going to create a function. Actually, we should probably create a test first. understand that test-driven development is the way to go. I've never done it. So what could go wrong, right? We could just dive in. Yeah. So I believe in Go that all you got to do is create a file that ends in _test.go. Right? So if we want to test this release file, we can say right? And then, well, it's in the wrong place. Here, we'll do it within the editor, but we could have just done it in command. Inside of command, we'll do a new file called, I think that's correct. And then inside this file, we're going to import, or tell it that it's part of the command package, because that's what release is part of. Let's see, we're at line 373. And if we look here at the top, it's part of the command package for this. I just want to go back. Hey Darren, how's it going? Real programmers write tests before they code. You know, that's what I'm trying to do. So, I mean, sort of, halfway. I'm writing the test before I write the function, but I've written all this code too, so I'm doing it wrong, I realize, but I'm learning. Alright, so let's see. So inside package command, we're going to import some things. Just kidding, I write tests after all the time. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I would like to get better about it though. Honestly, I would love to write a whole bunch of tests and then start coding. I think it would make life a lot easier, but I hear that's the way that the big kids do it. Alright, we're going to import testing. Nope. VS Code is trying to do some thinking for me. There we go. See, VS Code, you got to give me a chance to actually use it before you take it out of my file, right? Alright, so we're going to call, I guess we'll call the function that we're going to test build HTTP request, I guess, because that's what we're doing, right? So we'll say test build HTTP request. Calls build HTTP request. And passes and expects well, what do we say? Well, it calls build HTTP request and checks the resulting request object. Yeah, close enough. All right. And this takes in t testing.t. Okay. So we need a name for the test. Or not a name for the test. We need a. What's the best way to do this? Let's open this to the side. And we're going to look at release.go here. 300 something. There. How does that look to y'all? You can kind of read it, right? Yeah. All right, so what we're taking to build the release is the URL to call. Actually, we don't need the. Yeah, I'm sorry. We've got the function already, new post request. So we're going to test the new post request. That's right. All right. So new post request is expecting a URL. It's expecting a group of URL values. Right. And it's expecting a map of string to string of header values, right? So we've got this here. We're going to go to move new post request. So let's say params. And I'm not doing this right. This is just for my own, to keep these straight in my head. We'll tweak them afterwards. All right, so we're going to look at the browser real quick. So we have this example from the Go docs having a test. And so they have some variables that they use to test. They call the function that they're testing, and then they check the results. Of that, they check the results of the function and fail if it doesn't work. So we're going to write something like that, and then we're going to tweak it a little bit to look a little bit more like some of the tests that we use for work. I use kind of a factory pattern to build these tests. So I'm going to say URL. I'm just going to give it a name. Something like api.example.org. /test endpoint. Something like that. And for the parameters, let's look at the params that we're providing into new post request. See here. Here's an example. And actually we're using it in a couple of places, so this is a useful way to test a couple of parts of our code. So let's see, we're going to build params such as values, and then let's see, we're going to have it, well, for right now, we'll just do a couple of strings, and then we'll add something more complicated. Right, right, and then for headers, we're going to do something like so we've got this map, and we give it, we're using authorization. We'll go ahead and do that actually. You know what, we're going to use we'll use real names and then just fake values. How about that? So we're going to say tag name. Cool. And then for headers, we will go ahead and make a new map. And do something like the authorization. We use a formatted string here of the token type and the actual token for the authorization header, because that's what an authorization header looks like. Use faker in Ruby. There's something similar in Golang. Awesome. Let me check that out. Ah. Generates fake data. I like that. Okay, sweet. I'll read up on this and see how to use that. That's awesome. Thanks, Darren. That will be helpful. I'm gonna go ahead and let's bookmark that. Oops. It opened up in the wrong browser, so I realized you didn't see that, but this is what I was looking at. Here. Yeah. Yeah, so download faker, and then cool. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll check that out. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to give it cool. And then let's go ahead and try to test it out. We're going to say let's see, request. What are we getting back from here? Let me call it request, yeah. So we're going to say request error. Oh, you know what? I don't want to call it URL because it's gonna break some import stuff. We're gonna call this test URL because there's a URL package, and that's bad news. It took me forever to figure out that I was doing that earlier. Or we'll call it endpoint URL. How about that? Endpoint URL. Yeah, clearly I'm thinking about something else. And headers. Cool. And then, let's see. We should be getting back. We'll go to this. That's the make HTTP request. That's not what we're looking for. Yeah, see, this is going to work great because we use these functions several times, so this test will be helpful, very helpful. All right. Sorry, new post request is what we're looking at. Duh. And what we are being returned should be an HTTP request that looks sort of similar to this. So if let's see, let's take a look at this HTTP request. So it should be a post, right? So let's see, the fatal F is just logging. We want to give it the name of the test. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and give it a name of the test because we can use a struct to build more tests later. Cool. Spell check. Google is the best spell checker, right? That is, I spelled it right the first time. O-C-C-U-R occurred. But we don't need it because that's too verbose. Say name. And then, doesn't like this for some reason. Why not? Let's pull this back. Hey, Dr. Phineas, how's it going? Welcome. All right. Why doesn't it like this? It says expect identifier on the left side of colon equals. Indeed. I think it's because it's supposed to be like that, right? Yes. And URL.values. URL is undeclared. Yep, okay, saved it, that worked. And we're not using request yet. And we don't have the right name. There's test name. Alright, cleaning it all up. Man, this would have taken me way longer years ago. Or even just months ago. I'm starting to get the hang of some things. Hey, good. I'm glad to hear that, Dr. Phineas. Doing well. Okay. Yeah, doing all right today too. Just we're writing some Go. We're trying to write some tests to help troubleshoot the stuff that we were debugging last time, because we were really just banging our heads on the wall. I keep saying we, like I'm a royal of some kind, but there were other people here too, so I like to say we. Yeah, so I'm hoping these tests will kind of clear up what it is that I'm doing wrong. Give me an idea of what we're getting back from the build, and then try to match that up with what GitHub is expecting. So, all right. Let's see. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and we'll just do this and see if this little thing passes. It should, right? Because it's not actually doing anything. Yep, perfect. Just there was no error. We got back a request that we were supposed to get back. All right, and we want the request. There's a number of things we need to check. So let's see if I think this is by default. This should be building a post request. So let me double check that that's the way that we're doing things. Yeah. So we build in the function new post request. We create a new request. It's a post request for that URL using encoded parameters. URL encoded parameters that we provided, and then sets a couple of headers. So we want to check the method, check headers, check the URL, and check the parameters. And I think we can check those by saying, like, looking at the struct, we could say, like, if rec.method is post or if it's not. And we're going to split this up into a couple of different tests. But right now I'm just going to write these down as a single thing. We want to really only want to test one thing per test. So and how are they doing it? Let's take a look at the Golang thing again. Yeah, it's a nice looking. Actually, yeah. Okay, I like that. So they just use an OR, provide the error, and oh, the response too. Okay, cool. So that's probably a better way of doing it. Let's see. So we're going to test name. What's the best way to do that? Well, I can't say match string because it's a regex. I'd like to have a better idea what these... Let's see. So, I mean, clearly this is testing hello with no input. The Q... Let's see. I know what like %V and whatever is. What is %Q? A single quoted character literal safely escaped with Go syntax. Well, then what are they giving it? It's a message, right? That might be specific to their case. I see, okay. Cool. Alright, we'll just... getting stuck on the details. I don't really need to do that. Sometimes I need to kick my brain a little bit and be like, stop focusing on this thing. Just get some stuff down. We can tweak it a little better later. So we'll say if alright, we're going to create a new just use raw want. I like that. Makes things a little easier. Alright, so we're going to test, with this particular test, we're going to say that we're checking the post, or the method, and that's it. We're just going to test the method. So we're going to say test01, want post, okay. We don't have to say error. Test name, and I like the equals, that's helpful. Say it'll be what we want. Pull in an assertion-based testing framework. Looks like Testify is widely used. Alright, let's take a look at that. Thanks, DM London. Yeah, I don't know a ton about this, so let's see. Simplifying assertions with Testify. Testify is an assertion and mocking toolkit that plays nicely with the standard library. Alright, so they're importing Testify assert. Oh, well, that's considerably easier. All right, well, let's give that a shot. That might be considerably easier. Thanks, Darren. So we could say something like equal then what we want, and cool. I guess we need that framework too, don't we? What doesn't it like about this? Did I misspell that? github.com/stretch, STRTCHR testify assert. Huh. Yeah. Wonder if it's calc that's providing the, well, it could be the, why can't I go get that? Let's see. Getting some stuff. Okay, yeah, it's found it, so that's good. Yep, okay, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we'll comment this out for right now. Let's see what happens. Make test. All right. So it looks like that passed. Let's see if we can make it fail. Yes, excellent. Oh, very nice. Very nice. I like it. I like it. Perfect. So, we're definitely we're doing the posts. Excellent. Let's see. What else does Assert have? That thanks, DM Lund. That was a great suggestion. That certainly simplified me trying to redo this from scratch a little bit. Yeah, always make it fail. We should be making it fail first, right? But I already wrote the function, so alright, let's look at those docs. Testify, testify, testify. Testify. Alright. I like the browser just is lining up perfectly over this second frame over here. I like that. I like that. Maybe not quite perfectly. Let's tweak that a little bit, but let's slide it over back behind me, and then yeah, that's perfect. So we can see it behind the frame. There we go. Nice. So now you can see what I'm typing either way. All right. So easy assertions, very nice. We got equal, not equal, nil. So let's assert that there's no errors. And now is where we want to try to use like a factory pattern, I think. So we're going to look at an example from a project that I've worked on before. And here we've got a set of tests, say testing that substring matching works. We provide the test of values that we want to test, and then for each pair we test that stuff. That's all single test values though. So let's we can build that here. For right now, we can use the single set of values that we're passing in, and then we can add some more. Right. So we build a slice of structs, I guess. I'm going to say endpoint give it a name anyway, even if it's not used at the moment. Why doesn't it like this? Expected an expression. Very good call. That closing brace was a very open closing brace. String. That should work for that. Commas. No, that's not going to work that way, is it? Because I'm building those. Yeah, I think I'm trying to make this too complicated right now. Let me actually just get some testing done. Yes, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. I just need to test this thing and make sure it's working, and then we can add more later. Or stupidly simple. I like that. It's a little less accusatory. So I can just assert a couple of different things all at once, right? Like just... yeah, say... Can I do that? No, we don't have an error yet. Yep. So we're going to assert that method is post. Error is nil. Cool. All right, and check some other things. That's kind of redundant because, yes, of course, that's going to be the URL that we pass in. Let's see, we don't need the protocol stuff. We do need the header. I don't know that it's going to catch anything in particular. We want to check all the headers, right? What's the best way to do that, maybe? All right, let's see. We can check. We can check that maps are equal. Here we go. That's what we're looking for. Go testy. Go test deep. Let's see. How do we compare maps? Let's see. We're going to want to move, I think, from testing individual strings to testing the whole, like, request is the right thing. But I think this is working now. That's kind of cool. You can just test the S-prints of the maps are the same thing. Neat! I bet that might work. Let's try that. See if we can get it to fail first. Test. Well, let's see if that works. That would be stupidly simple. Awesome. So it's failing, but we do have our authorization bearer. And yes, we are adding these, so we need to make sure that we're expecting those as well. Sweet. Okay, so here. Is there a way to ask if a map includes something? Probably. But I was... What I think I want to do is try to make sure that the map is... or the map that we get back is the exact same as what we would get going into the thing. So we could say, like, we want to have a map of, you know, with the authorization as well as the content type and the accept encoding, and then compare that map with the one we get back from the function. Because we're going to expect that those headers are all the same. That there's not anything else. Hey, look at that. That's not spelled right. You can't see that. It's behind the... there. That's not spelled right. I wonder if that's why I was an unprocessable entity. Because we weren't telling it what kind of form data we were sending it. Don't change it yet. Good call. Because we're going to expect it to have the that header in there. So let's see. We can. So we'll say input values. Yeah. We're going to say that we want expected headers. Form encoded, right? Yeah, form URL encoded. Alright, I bet that's gonna fail now. Look at that. We're also getting some weird yeah, we're getting some weird stuff in our map too. But good, that's good. We're maybe that's also why the no, I mean, we know this works though, so we're doing something different here. It's the same, it's a slice of maps. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're doing wrong. Well, how do we fix the test? We're expecting a slice of maps back. Okay. Let's try to build it that way. That's probably a better, more Go appropriate. I don't know if you could see that pop up. Let me check the stream. Yeah, okay, so you could see that. Cool. So maybe we can build our expected headers to look this way. Pass that information in a different way. We're definitely passing the info in the way that we're expecting to pass it in, but we're not building the right headers that we're expecting coming out. So we'll say alright, I think this is better. Why does that not like that? Spelled it differently? Expect. Wait, let's actually declare the map. There we go. Alright, let's see if that works. Excellent. Closer. Closer. Of course, we missed the bearer part of the bearer token. Going for the joke and forgot the serious part. Nice. And then, yes, we have the bug content type that we need to fix. Can you all see that? Yeah. We have the spelling error right here. Which I wonder if that's what the problem was. Oh, interesting. Better, better. I like that anyway. Let's see. We're gonna say host is this gonna work? I think it's gonna work. Try to check the whole, not the whole thing, but various pieces of this path. We don't want to say that the whole thing is equal because otherwise we have to build the whole thing. But let's go ahead and test it and make sure we're on the right track. No. Okay then. So that's just considered the same thing. What if I change that? Okay, yeah, beautiful. So that's a considerably easier way of testing the URL than I was thinking. So we're testing the headers in a much better way, testing the URL. What else do we need to do? Test the parameters. What parameters do we have? Tag name, draft. Is this gonna work? Maybe? We're expecting this to be a string because, you know, JSON is all strings. Okay, it doesn't like this. Values, that's what it was. Here are the values. Oh, right, it's a map also. So we would do something similar to the expected header. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing as the expected header. I gotta say, learning data structures with Go has been a little bit harder for me than it was with anything in Python. I get the hang of it, obviously, but man. Wait, that's the wrong thing. That is what we're trying to change. Am I a mechanical keyboard fetishist? Not, I wouldn't say quite a fetishist. I like the feedback. I kind of like the sound. I don't have like the whole cherry red versus cherry brown versus whatever. Like I don't, you know, follow that. I just want something that's a little bit tactile and a little bit louder. I don't like squishy keys. and I like it to be kind of like raised up a little bit. So I enjoy mechanical keyboards, but I wouldn't say that I take it to the level of some of the folks that I could consider fetishists. And let's see what the actual request value should be for HTTP request. Method, string, protocol, header, body. Is it the body? There it is. URL.values. So the rec.form. No, post form. Rec.post form. Well, there's a lot of forms. What the heck? Oh no, it's probably body, isn't it? Well, let's see what happens. Yeah. Yeah, so we need to parse the form, I think. That's what it was saying. Let's look at the docs for our HTTP request. HTTP version time. Hey, Chronifer, how's it going? Good to see you. How are you today? Okay, yeah, so we need to parse the form and then we can test it. Hey, no worries. If you can make it, you can make it, and it's good to see you. If you can't make it, no worries. No stress. Today we're working on that same Go command line tool for building release. Yep, that's the one. And in the last episode, Tuesday, we're really struggling to create a release with GitHub. Kept getting a 422 response back saying it was an unprocessable entity that I was sending it. So I should have done this earlier, but I started writing some tests, and I'm hoping that the tests highlight what the problem was. We may have found the actual problem. There was a misspelling in the function, so I'm hoping that was it. But I'm going to continue writing this test to make sure the test works, and then I'm going to try that post again. And I think this will be the smart thing to do. I think the next several episodes are going to be learning tests a little bit better and trying to make sure that the code that I've got is doing exactly what I expect it to do before continuing to talk to real-world APIs and maybe cause problems or leak data or something. I want to make sure I'm sending it what I'm expecting to send it. So. Thanks. Yeah, I had it match the my little dude in the logo. Hey, little Kubernetes guy. That's me. I just need the horns on my helmet. All right. So I think we need to parse. So for post form to be available, we got to parse the form data. So we'll say, let's see what this func actually has. Just returns an error, right? Okay, it's not a function, it's a method. All right. So we'll say error equal to parse parse form. We need to move this up. And then we will do the same thing. Expect that there is no error. Yeah, he's got that shirt for this show. On my other shows, he's just wearing a green shirt. So he's wearing a green shirt and a helmet in every other show. In this show, he's wearing a Kubernetes shirt and a red hat. So hopefully I continue to work for Red Hat for quite a while. Because if I don't, I have to update my logo. All right. All right, let's see what happens. Google's moving into Morris Street, huh? No kidding. Well, that's cool. Y'all are gonna have some more Googlers running around, driving up the housing costs. Alright, so that didn't work. New engineering hub to Durham. Bringing 1,000 jobs. Holy cow, 1,000 jobs. Wow. Well, that's cool. That's really cool. 1,000 jobs coming to Durham. Neat. That'll be great for that area for sure. You gonna go work for Google now? That's something I had always kind of wanted to do. I thought that would be kind of a neat. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. So we parsed the form. There's no error. However, it's still returning no values, it looks like. Why are there no values? Or we're not, I guess we're not reading the values correctly, maybe. Oh, haha, because my test is bad. Look at that. I'm passing in an empty URL values. We want to give it our params. Cool. So, bad test. Sweet. So now we're getting actual data back. But we're not doing it correctly. We need this to be something like I mean, it's kind of close. What is this now? URL values with those. And then tag name separate. That's weird also. I think that's not what we want either. So that probably is part of the problem as well. So we're taking in parameters. Oh, that's the wrong thing. There you go. Taking in, okay, so this is the function we're trying to test. New post request, taking in the URL string parameter as URL values, which is a map of strings to slice of strings. And then we're encoding those parameters. So I think that's the correct way to do that. But it's weird to me that we're getting these parsed in this way. Why is this coming out like that? Let's see what r.form has. Yes, basically the same thing. So All right, let's do some Googling. There we go. That looks promising. How to set URL parameters for unit tests. This is for the server though, not the client. It's also not post data. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. How about cooling tests. Oh. This looks promising. How about this? So this is setting up an echo server. It's not what we need. Yeah, okay, so that's the right, yeah. So maybe we need to do something like this. Do something like that and parse it, I guess. Yeah, because this is just encoding, just passing the encoded stuff to the new request. So that we're not even there, right? We're just no, yeah, we are. So params.encode. So maybe it'd be something like params.decode. Can we do that? Yeah, so this is just the body, right? So can we just read the body? Let's try that. No. That's not working that way. Okay, let's see. It should be post form. Let's see what post form value is. Alright, let's try that. What if we said tag name? Browser's in front of the test. Is it? I think the test is right here, right? That's fine. We can remove the browser. Easy enough. Oh, I'm sorry, down here. Yeah, in the terminal. I gotcha. Yeah, so that's good. We're getting the value back. So I gotta account for the this. I think I understand a little bit more about what's going on though. Let's do just post form again. Hey, Two Dorks, how's it going? You guys doing alright today? Hey, Adam McGeekheim, how's it going? Yeah, we're trying to. We're trying to figure out what's going on. We are doing well, thank you. I am. We had a nice day. Took the day off of work. Slow start to the morning. Cut the grass. Now I'm doing a little programming, and assume H&H is starting in like an hour? 30 minutes? Now? So, in 30 minutes, yeah, 30 minutes-ish. Okay, perfect. That's, my stream is ending in 30 minutes, so perfect timing. So tonight I'll watch a little H&H. Is it programming my work? It is, and this is Adam of Geekheim. This is a programming series that I'm doing kind of in support of that. So I'm doing real work to show folks what it's like to be an SRE day to day, and that it's even though I've been doing it for a long time, you still got to look at the docs and you try and fail and tests don't work. So that's what this Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's what I'm doing. So all the other times I'll be playing video games. Yeah. So yeah, trying to figure out why we're not getting this back. So I think maybe post form value is closer. I think. Hey, thanks, Two Dorks TV. I appreciate it. Thanks for the host. Hey, you know what? It's better than zero. So I appreciate the thought too. Thank you. Yeah. So we're gonna try to figure out what's going on here. I think this is not what we're expected to pass, which might be also part of our problem. I think that should just be an actual string and not that, but it might be that the test is just giving me this information. Let's try that. Let's try that in fact. We want to print rec.postForm. Draft, I think. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so that's right, I think. It's a slice. Is it a slice of strings? Should the URL values be a slice of strings? Yeah, it's okay. Slice of strings. Yeah. So I think that's correct. I'm not sure how to make them equal though. I'm clearly expecting something else. So these expected parameters, the map, this is what URL values would be. It'd be a map of strings to slices of strings. All the data is correct, but I think it's expected that this should be the actual URL.values type. And can I parse that? I think I can. Let's go to where this is referenced. Yeah, Two Dorks TV. I am writing tests. I'm trying to figure out why. Trying to figure out why my code doesn't work. So I figured tests are the way to go. So let's see. That's the function itself. We're calling it here. Let's look at that. Ginkgo and GoMega, I have. Not for this. All the tests at our end-to-end stuff at work is in Ginkgo and GoMega. I haven't thought about trying to apply it to this particular project, but that's a good point. I'll check those out as well. At the moment, DM Lund suggested Testify for right now. That's what I've been using for this episode, but I need to do a little bit more reading. Yeah. I like Ginkgo and GoMega. They're a little bit harder for me to understand, even though that I've written a bunch of it for work. Trying to apply it outside of that project to my own handwritten project is it's a little bit more challenging than working within something else that other folks have done. So I should be good at it, but I need to actually sit down and spend some more time with it. That would be fantastic. I would love to see an example that you guys are doing. That would be extremely helpful, I think. Thank you. I mean, okay, so does it make sense? This is where we're building the URL values to send in, right? It wouldn't make any sense to redo that for a set of expected parameters, right? I should just check that the param values that we put in are also the ones that we got back out, right? I don't need to create a whole new set of... Yeah, I don't need to create a whole new set of values. I could just pass in... So, if I just did this, is that gonna pass? No. Oh, because it didn't compile. There we go. Try this again. Passed. Okay. Okay, fair. That's fine. I'm good. I'm good with that. We know we're sending in valid data that way. We fixed a little bug. We're checking the headers, we're checking the URL, we're checking the parameters. That's what we wanted to do with this test. We want to add more, obviously, but this one test is validating the function, I believe. Certainly it's validating it the way that we're using it. Use mocking for the requests and responses. Yeah, that's... yes, I agree with that. That, I don't fully grok the mocking stuff yet, but it's something that I definitely want to add. Yeah, agreed. Make sure that the test works, the request works correctly in real life, and then write the mock to test it. Yeah, I agree with that too. You feel like learning how to test code is more difficult than actually testing or learning how to code. Agreed. Yeah, it's a little more opaque, I think. Apox, thanks. I appreciate it. Glad you like the beard. Tudork says, I've been programming for years and finally think I get it. Well, you know, I hope I'm glad. I'm glad that that's working for you. I hope to reach that point someday soon. I can write tests if somebody else kind of sets up the framework. I'm having some trouble writing them from scratch. Although I've written this one from scratch. It's only taken an hour and a half though. But yeah, it's passing. Exactly. Yeah, I can build on somebody else's stuff, no doubt. Hey, Epox, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the family. We do so if you're not familiar with the stream, I do programming stuff Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. This particular show here, Practically Programming, it's about being a professional and still working things out and trying to figure things out and struggling. I write primarily in Go because that's what we do for work, and I want this. This is actual work. This is what it's like for me as an SRE. I'm working on code for work. We also use Python to some extent, and that's what my background has been in. But you know, my real background is operations, so I'm really kind of learning the programming stuff on the fly, kind of by myself and with teammates, but didn't go to school for it for anything. So that's why I'm still trying to figure things out, and I want other people to see that that's the case. You know, professionals in the business for a long time are still figuring things out and working on stuff. And then on Mondays and at least one other time a week, I play Dwarf Fortress, and thrown in there, I play some retro video games too. So it's coding on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and everything else. You got a master's in biology, yeah, for real. Yeah, I have a performing arts degree. That's what I went to school for, and I'm an SRE for Red Hat now. Yeah, two dorks. The amount of times you Google basic Python syntax, for real, you know? Yeah, DM Lund asked earlier if there's a way to see if there's something contained in the map, and I'm like, well, of course there is. I can't tell you what it is off the top of my head. I have to Google it, but yes, there's a way to do that. Yeah, my previous job, I think 50% of the people had degrees in something other than computer science. Biology was a popular one. Several people had not finished school, and they were, you know, professionals working as systems administrators and programmers. Teachers, lots of ex-military folks. So. Yeah. So anyway, we got a passing test. I think it's time to see if I can if I fix that bug by fixing that test. So let me try it. You know, keep talking amongst yourselves, and I'm gonna run this thing. All right, let's see if this works. Is it going to create a release? It's prompting me for my access token. It's waiting for me to enter my access token. I am failing to enter my access token. Okay, here we go. Access token entered. We're going to authorize a device. GitHub wants me to relog in. That's fine. Just, yeah, fill it out, huh? There we go. Okay, doesn't look like it worked. I'm gonna check the contents out off stream real quick. Let me change this. Alright, it still says it's an unprocessable entity. So didn't fix the problem, but making progress, I think. Maybe. Man, check this out. This is not right. Let me paste this into something you guys can see. Yeah, I know. There's a token on the screen that I don't want to share, so I'm trying to find a way to do this. Here. So check this out. This is what the debug stuff says I'm sending. I don't think that that's correct. There shouldn't be carriage returns in my post, I don't think. But that might just be might be the way that it's displaying the output. Yeah. Let me go ahead and revoke authorization for that thing, because I believe that token was on the screen for a hot minute. Not a minute, a few seconds, but we're going to go ahead and revoke it anyway. Give me just a second. Revoked. Cool. That does look like wireframe HTTP, like telnet level. Okay, so maybe it's valid. So I've revoked that token. I can show you now that what I was getting back. This is the reply. So it looks like, I'm sending in body, draft, name, tag name. I think that's correct. Yeah. But I'm not sure why that's an unprocessable entity. I'm not sure. Certainly the test looks like it's successful, but I'm not sending something that GitHub wants. I will show you. Let me pull up the GitHub docs. Alright, so this is what I should be sending. Send post data to owner repo releases, which I am. I've got this is not quite the same. I'm just doing straight up JSON. So maybe that's worth changing. I am passing in the tag name. That's the only thing that's required. I'm passing in a name, the body, the draft, and the pre-release. I'm not using target commit-ish. And this is what the curl looks like. So I think that's generally correct. We are passing in those parameters. We're passing in the application, except JSON, not this VND GitHub v3, but just JSON. Maybe that's the next thing to try, but it should be fine. Yeah, I mean, it's accept Yeah, URL.values is the body. It gets processed here. It might be, I keep thinking that maybe the slice is strings. I mean, that's what URL.values is. It's like keys and values. And the values are slices of strings. I don't think I need to JSON dump it because I'm not posting it that way. I'll show you. We're doing the URL form encoding here. So we create the new request. It's expecting a body, just an IO reader with the form encoded parameters. And from what I understand, that's correct. It seems to be working elsewhere. Oh, sorry. There you go. So this is working in other cases. It's just not working for this particular release creation. Hey, Chronifer. Welcome back. But anyway, I think we're at time. We've got a working test, so that's good. We're going to fill that out next time, I think. Thanks everybody for stopping by. DM Lund, thanks for the help. Thanks also for the suggestions, and certainly the testing framework made things a lot easier. So I'm going to spend some more time playing around with this and see if I can't figure out just what the problem is. Dr. Phineas, hey, it's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. TutorWorks TV, Adam McGeekheim. I appreciate it, and I will catch you all in the next episode. So I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday evening, or Wednesday if you've started that already. I'm sorry. You have a wonderful Thursday evening or Friday if you started that. So, y'all take care. Thanks.